Hello again. I was walking through central London yesterday and I happened to pass down Whitehall. The entrance to Downing Street looked like a scene from a dystopian vision of Britain at war. Behind the heavy fortifications were seven men wearing baseball caps and dark glasses. All were carrying semi-automatic carbines and each of them had a pistol in a holster as well. Further down Whitehall, I saw more of these paramilitary types hanging around near the passage to Horse Guards Parade. Today, we see the other side of the coin, a line of police officers with nothing more important to do with their time than dance at a gay pride rally. Meanwhile, of course, the number of murders in London is soaring, and in Lincolnshire, where these men were dancing at the gay pride event, things aren't much better. Why are these men and women not out on the streets dealing with crime? One of the things which did strike me when I watched these seven heavily armed men hanging around behind the metal fortifications which guard Downing Street was what would happen. What bad consequences might there be if those railings were torn down, the police disarmed, and then sent to patrol the streets of inner city areas in London, places like Hackney? In other words, why do we need a heavily armed police presence in Downing Street? Originally, the barriers were erected at the end of Downing Street to prevent IRA terrorists from entering the street, but that's all over now. Then there was the fear of crazed Islamists, but that too is hardly a major threat today. A lone knifeman could easily be prevented from getting inside number 10 Downing Street simply by the front door. There has always been a police officer on duty outside the building. This would be enough to deal with most threats, I think. In short, removing six of those gun-toting characters and sending them off on foot patrols in rough parts of London would probably be a much better use of their time. As for those photographed dancing at the Gay Pride rally in Lincoln, I don't really see why any police officers at all needed to be there. The purpose of police on demonstrations is, of course, to keep the peace. But there was surely no suggestion that those marching in this parade were likely to go mad and start throwing Molotov cocktails or anything if there weren't police present to stop them. I would have thought that one or two officers were quite sufficient, and then the rest could be sent to Boston, which is not too far from Lincoln, where they could help tackle the wave of brutal murders in the town. In other words, I honestly don't see what the police are up to a lot of the time. They seem to alternate between racing around waving machine guns and wearing rainbow coloured decorations and dancing their time away at gay rallies. Both these things are a waste of their time, and they would be better employed policing the streets. We are often told that there are not enough police officers, but I have a suspicion that if those we did have were to be spending their time doing the things that we want them to, like walking the streets or investigating burglaries, then we might find there were more than enough. The thumbnail to this video shows the police officers at Gay Pride in Lincoln dancing the conga, a peculiar situation indeed.